I'm looking to see Khan just pick up most like a default 5 here, for example, like a Bane, or just anyone that can potentially win the lane. Undying, obviously, banned out. Again, very patch-driven. Can't really let that through most times, unless you obviously have a massive amount of team fight, or you just counter-pick it.
Especially when you have a strength offlaner such as Doom. If Doom is the offlane, right, then you kind of have to ban out the Undying as well, because he just solos any dual lane if you have a strength offlaner.
Yeah. Buy Orb of Venom on your Undying, and it's just like, GG, don't even play that lane. Don't even go near it.
Yeah, we're back to it, man. We're back to some of these heroes, and like in the first series as well, I have to say, I did see Flensmeister back, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that dude. Like, the last time I played competitively, I think he already stopped like 1 or 2 years before me, and he's back. Like, maybe it's time.
No, Lizard, don't do it.
All right, okay, Lizard, all right. So just don't forget, man, like all these DPC things and like Omega League, there's like the 2nd division, you know? There's like that little cash grab you can get, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just slide on your way in there, get a cheeky little 1k bonus, like, well, it's pretty good.
T-Gab's working for some teams, you know, might slide you in a spot.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sounds good, man. I'm tempted for real. Especially when Lich is back into the meta. They're easy. I can spam some shield, AFK behind the tower and pretend I'm useful. Like, it's amazing. It's crazy how Dota really has some heroes that you can be AFK on and you're still useful for your team, right? Like Lich before when he could sacrifice the creeps. Jakiro now when you're just basically dual breathing and macro pyring creep waves. Yeah.
We need to see a tier list of the heroes that you can literally be AFK but have just good communication on. Like Abaddon, for example. He doesn't have to do anything in the game. He just exists. Luckily, he's not in the patch, so we're good. He's literally irrelevant. Oh, there's the... Oh, that's a good... Yeah, that was a good hero. That was... like, when you see bans against Anti-Mage, it's like heroes are activated by like 1 or 2 items, and that can just like take over a certain timing. So, for example, you have Ursa who just floods the map. You can never really farm. You're always dying. The Terrorblade, for example, he gets like Manta +1, and he's already pushing down your early towers. He's potentially sieging high ground with the right lineup. And now Khan are pretty much in the position of, we need to find a way to defend our towers with our off-lane pick. Someone who can just sit in front. So I'm thinking like an Underlord or a Centaur. They can buy that Crimson, mitigate that early push, and then buy just enough time that then this anti-mage comes online and you can start playing out your draft in its entirety.
I like the Underlord idea a lot. That sounds pretty solid. You would have a lot of minus damage between the Rubik and the Underlord on the lane. There's a lot of nuke potential versus the TB. But yeah, he is a problem. What do you think? If the problem that I see also for Khan is they have this Kunkka, and naturally when you have a Kunkka versus a TB, you can itemize versus it, right? Like you have some ways of playing. Like even the Radiance build is good. Like Radiance Agonist is amazing versus TB. But the thing is, do you have space for that when you're trying to make enough of that same thing for the anti-mage? Yeah. The answer is no.
Yeah, as you were saying it, I was like, oh, if he says Radiant Sags, I'm like, oh no, there's an anti-mage. I've seen so many times, like in my pubs with the lads, where we have like a greedy carry and my Kunkka player, and my Kunkka's got like quick buy Radiants, Ags, Shivas, and I'm like, we ain't getting this much gold, man. Like, we need to find something better to do. So we're gonna, hopefully if they can't need to find a way to itemize Kunkka for early aggression, but they should never feel the pressure to have to find kills and really like own the map. They're basically about controlling their map as long as possible to then get this quick Battle Fury time from Anti-Mage, and then he just runs away with the game. So this is why I want to see a static offlaner that doesn't feel the need to have to go fight. Like that Sanking in the previous game. He buys a blink, he has to make moves. You know, if you just pick up your Centaur, your Underlord type hero, all you have to do is exist. And then eventually you meet a much later timing, and now you're good to go.
I like the ban of Cyber Legacy as well. It's your Enigma. It's your hero that stays AFK, farms away, gets a Blink Dagger or something. Doesn't even have to get the Blink Dagger instantly, right? As long as he's constantly farming, he's getting there, and eventually he becomes too big of a deal to deal with. But besides Underlord, man, for Khan, what else are you thinking? Like one hero that I love on offlane that's been banned for Khan is Phoenix. Like, versus TB, it's even on position 3, even after all these nerfs, I love it. Not really the best with them. One good thing for Khan that I see though as well is their safe lane should be pretty solid versus the Doom. You do have this anti-mage plus witch doctor, but the problem is still, will you be able to use the maledict versus a hero that has so much built-in regen as Doom? That can also be very problematic for them. There's quite a lot of ups and downs so far in these two drafts. And I actually have to say that so far for me, Cyber Legacy do have a slight advantage, slight edge.
Yeah, I think if Cyber Legacy just pick one more hero to help with the early aggression, so a Quap that can go Orchid or a Shadow Fiend. Again, it's Pikachu, it's a CS region. Like any hero that can allow the aggression to go towards Khan, then I think they're going to be in a good spot. In terms of the laning, like Lizard was mentioning, I think the top lane, it could actually be pretty hard for the Anti-Mage Witch Doctor, just because you have this Windrunner. If you have a Blightstone or just anything chipping on the side.
Slardar.
Oh, yeah, sure. Now that's a pretty scary lane. Like Slardar as an offlaner, you pick him when you see weak melee carries that can't really do much. So for example, like Juggernaut's one, where level 1 he's pretty weak. He's stronger level 3, 4, when he gets more Blade Fury. And same for Anti-Mage, he can never really lane the entire time. And now you've got the Windrunner as well, the chip. It's going to be a rough lane, and if the Slardar gets an early blink, then the map control could be very scary.
But wait, are we saying this Doom will be position 4 or Windrunner will be position 4? Oh, what are we thinking here?
Well, we've seen Doom mid, for example, in some games, Yeah. So there's flexibility, I think, between Windrunner and Doom just to pivot between either right now.
Probably Doom is a bit better because you're versus a Kunkka, right? The next market spot can mess up Wind Ranger a little bit. And who debuted? Mid1, right? Mid1 is the first one that started playing Doom mid in the Pushka League. We were covering that game. That was a lot of fun. But recently they have been playing Doom mid as well, some other teams. I'm not sure. I would love this Wind Ranger plus Slardar on the offlane together because there's so much potential to lock these heroes down and take them off the map. Like Anti-Mage, he can burn Slardar's mana, but you have these multiple bashes to work with. And then again, you could have a Shackle Shot to come into play as well. I like the lanes from Cyber Legacy, and I love their draft. They're not really dependent on their cooldowns, even though they have some big ones, not as much as Khan and their Panda, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like Khan for now, they've reacted with the brew because they, against a single core lineup in terms of a physical damage-esque type thing, the brew can always put the TB into Cyclone, right? You can kill his illusions with the Purge, but it's still the issue of where's your quick and cheap wave clear? How are you defending a tower without having to commit brew split, without having to bring your Kunkka as well? There's so many, the only way you defend is by bringing so many numbers. I feel that you might just get run down with a very early timing. And if Cyber Legacy, they get one item on all cores and just decide to sweep across the map and go, it's going to be pretty hard for the lads to play around their brew timing, the split timing, sorry.
Give me a name, T-Gov. Who are you siding with? Which way are you going with this one?
Cyber Legacy. Mate, my brain fried for a second. I literally called Khan lads because I forgot they were called Khan.
That's what I wondered. You're like, which one are the lads?
Khan, mate. Khan. Yeah. I think Cyber Legacy got this. And it is a mid-Doom. So because of that alone, I am a big fan of Cyber Legacy draft. And I think, they're going to...
I'm just looking real quick at Lizard here, right? You said about you had half your chest out. Lizard is fully just showing off the muscles right now. He's you were got panicked just about a little bit of
falling off.
You just want to show off.
Yeah, but Lizard's got muscles though. All right,
but he's the god, mate. You're just the advisor. Remember, you're not being fed as well.
Just the advisor. Well, I'm going to advise you that this game's about to start. Cyber Legacy's got the better draft, I believe. Lizard probably agreeing with me, and
You agree, Lizard? Are you going with Cyber Legacy?
I'm gonna say Khan do have their strengths as well. Like the Panda versus the Terrorblade can be pretty good. But I agree with T-Gov because that close-up, I wasn't agreeing with him, but once they put him in that close-up, that face and the way he says it, you just have to agree. You just have to believe what he's saying.
Kyle is definitely having a nightmare right now. So you both going for Cyber Legacy. Let's find out what KP and Pexu are saying as we've got them on the mic to take us through this next game.
Panel. It's not quite Pexu. Pycat's back again.
Oh, they changed it again.
Different Scandinavian.
We
decided to keep him around.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie, boys. I actually hope that this one isn't as one-sided as the first series, because if it continues like this all day, I'm pretty sure by the end of the day, with the way Lizard was just talking, him, Pycat, and BSJ are going to go form a stack and join the qualifier. I don't know if that would be better or worse. It would definitely worsen the broadcast talent list.
Yeah. I don't know how well we'd do. You know, a bunch of old timers.
Oof. Have you played much for Liz? Have you experienced him in your pub games?
Maybe like 5-6 years ago. I mean,
you could tell him easily back then, right? He was the guy with the harmonica yelling Divide.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've played against the Meepo, you know, like, or something like that once or twice.
That's how most people described him to me. You ban out Meepo, you win.
And then he's not that scary anymore. You know?
There we go. Got him. Oof. See, I'm gonna get messages in a moment from him. He's like, "Hey, I used to be number 1 on the leaderboards."
Sure.
Well, we got a game, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, and this one, what do you think? Like, looking at the player caliber, right? Like, maybe you haven't seen much of these two teams recently. This looks closer, right?
Yeah, I mean, the level of these two teams like is definitely higher, I would say, than the other ones. Like, these are some good players. But I do have to kind of agree with the analysis of some of the panel members there. I think Khan or the lads, as they were called. I think they kind of need to win the game 4-1-5. Like, the anti-mage is not really gonna do that much for like a really long time. And I think one of the spooky things is that like this anti-mage, almost no matter when it is in this game, if he blinks in, there's always gonna be this chance of him just dying. You know, there's like one Doom, one Slaughter Stun amp into Turboblade hitting. Sinister Gaze, like there's so many ways for him to die. So I think they need to do well in their in the mid lane and in the off lane. And like if the Brew has a good game and the Kunkka has a good game, I think they could, you know, they could roll with it and just buy enough space for the anti-mage to get strong. Maybe get an Aegis and some items and they could take it. But I would definitely favor the boys on Radiant here.
Yeah, it's understandable because really I feel like what we're secretly saying ourselves is some of the lines of, all right, Anti-Mage needs to be able to farm. Everyone else in Khan needs to buy Heaven's Halberd so TB can't attack in the fight, and then AM can win the fights.
Yeah, and you're also up against Kuma and Terrorblade, right? How you know, how can you go up against that and just, you know, they're shaking right now on the Dire side.
Excellent idea.
I mean, there's kind of some harrowing memories in your voice right there, like you've experienced this as well. It's like, oh god, he built a Dagon on Terrorblade and he still beat me.
I mean, if you ask 33 Neta, he's the biggest Kuman advocate out there. You know, he can talk about Kuman for days.
It's understandable, dude. Like, I mean, Kuman, I think it was when he got picked up by, I think it was Team Empire, they signed him to a big contract. And back then, like, it was equivalent of GPK in CIS. Like, that was the level of how many teams wanted him and how many people were talking about him, like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
And then he got locked into those long contracts. I think at first he got locked into Empire. Then, of course, he went on the VP roster, but he very quickly got relegated to stand-in.
Yeah.
So we get to see the boy in action again on what is, you know, considered one of the better carries, I want to say, in the current meta. Like, it does feel like TB's time to shine has finally arrived again.
Yeah, probably. It's also like the classic matchup. You know, like this is like the, you know, the anti-mage versus Terrorblade. This is like the
lore matchup, right?
It's like it's, you know, it's like the two carry players. They're like, you know, like you ask a carry like, what hero do you want to play? It's like it's Terrorblade or anti-mage, right? And now we get both. So it's an interesting matchup.
See, I think like you asked me that a few years ago. I would always say like Jug and Chaos Knight were like the two that came to a lot of people's minds, right? Like the El Clasicos.
Huh?
No?
What?
Sorry, I just, you know, I watched like the 2014, 2015 Dota. I'm thinking like load up.
When was CK like the favored carry? When
Alliance?
I mean,
long time ago.
That's like, a while back.
How far ago is Classic to you? Okay, that's what matters.
I mean, Classic is just, you know, it's just like the epic battle, right? It's like these two really hard carries. And it's just, you know, carries enjoy playing these heroes, I feel like.
Yeah, because they just...
It's like me versus the world, you know? You're just the big boss.
Like on the one hand, Anti-Mage's like, well, I'm literally just going to hit creeps for 20 minutes. And then TD's like, hey, you forced me out of my lane at level 1? Oh, there's a jungle over there.
Short blink by Naive. I mean, and we see this, like, I've seen this matchup a few times. The anti-mage versus Slardar it's not one of the most fun ones you can play.
No, it
can get
a bit of a rough
dicey.
one. Because let's be honest, Blizzy doesn't really care if you burn all his mana. He can still just pummel into you. And at that point, you don't trade effectively because you're not burning mana alongside health.
They do have the heal here. They kind of like recognize that there's no real point in like trying to go on the Slardar. Like they just want to sustain through the lane and just hit creeps. That's all anti-mage want to do. So there's no point in going for like Maledict and trying to kill people. It doesn't favor the anti-mage at all.
And then when we look at the mid lane, if this turns into kind of status quo, let's farm, it has to favor the Doom, right? The Devour with just as much an even ability to farm creep camps with the Scorched Earth and the creeps he can pick up. It's not really ideal to just be stuck farming if you're Pikachu.
I haven't really seen the Doom. I've seen it a few times now, the Doom mid, but I mean, I would imagine Doom will probably out farm, whereas Kunkka, he gets more potential to, make a lot of plays, or like it's easier. You can definitely make some plays with the Scorched Earth maxed out, but Kunkka, I would say, has on average, an easier time making plays. This is really
one's an
annoying
enabler, one kind of wants to be enabled in this role, I'd say, because like usually you think of Doom in the free, it's like he's going to make space, he's going to rotate and press R. But when you're playing like a POS 2, or like in the old days when I think Envy would do a lot of POS 1 Doom, it was like, guys, I just want to eat creeps, go to Midas, farm.
Yeah. I mean, this ice armor though, like, what's the deal with this? It's 5 armor, and there's a slow.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Attack slow 25, move slow 25. Like, what's that about? Huh?
When was the last time they nerfed that? It's been a long time, right?
They've nerfed it a few times, right? It
used to be
before?
A, I think.
Yeah.
Which was just insane. But let's be totally honest, it's kind of still insane.
It's still pretty insane, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, because you remember there was the whole Doom 3-4 just being spammed everywhere, and the argument was like, well, if you find a crit wolf, you just win the lane. And those kind of issues still exist because I think you can still peak crit wolf creeps at the same level. You can still get the Frost Mage very early, and you can still get first blood from the top lane, as that poor little Witch Doctor is just trying to distract them so Naive can hit creeps.
Yeah, it's actually working. I think Anti-Mage is doing like better than I would expect him to do up here. He's just free farming pretty much. You don't really care if your Witch Doctor dies like that. No, it's not that important.
Same goes for the Lich. It's just space for the TB to hit creeps as well.
Yeah.
Albeit the difference being, if Kuman was pressured, he could go to the jungle immediately, whereas AM's not a hero that wants to resort to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely easier to jungle with Terrorblade than with Anti-Mage. But Anti-Mage is having a better time than Terrorblade at the moment, so...
Most definitely. Like, I'm always reminded of, I think the best example I can ever recall, like the TB doesn't care, will just go hit creeps in jungle at level 2. I think it was like a Team Secret game where he got complete dumpstered, died like 4 times in the lane, and then he just went to the jungle, and 15 minutes later came back and destroyed everyone. Like, oh, that's TB!
Yeah, those concepts of Dota, it's like, come on, you shouldn't be able to go jungle at level 2, right? You need level 5. It's fair. Level 2,
I mean, some heroes are 4, right? Like, I've seen Lycans where they're like, just accept, okay. And Lycan's another example where if it's similar to TB, where it's like, okay, now I can just give this lane to my support, really, and I can just take jungle, and then maybe we get like a 4th core situation.
I mean, the old Lycan of like TI2, that Lycan would jungle faster from level 1 than any solo lane. That was...
Hey, I mean, recently that's been proven, not on the same level, but you can still do the jungle start. I remember a few weeks ago, I think Nigma, they pulled out a Lycan POS 5, and Kuro was just farming like a boss.
Still
so don't mention it too much, although it'll just start appearing in your pub games again at every level.
Yeah.
Is that the most painful experience? Like, it's always nice to see kind of innovation, like, man, look at this new hero that someone's running the 4 or the 2. But you know what's going to happen. The real problem is in your pub games immediately after everyone sees, like, Yaps or play Sniper POS 4, for example.
Yeah, people tend to need some more time to figure out how to actually execute these things. We're going to see a trade here, probably.
Again executed. Oh, Gilga trying to walk it off. One more tap will bring him down, though. This is kind of the story of the bot lane, right? Yeah. Like they know they can't kill Kuman. They just want to kill whatever's near him.
No, I mean, I feel like Cyber Legacy are definitely happy with this. It's like the Lich dies, whatever. He doesn't care. He can come back with some regen, and then Rubik was level 5 at the time when he died, and it's just more gold and levels for Terrorblade.
It's true. I guess the thing compared to like the traditional matchup between these two carries, the game goes on. At least if you burn all of Kuma's mana, you don't have to worry about the Sunders. But it is really concerning that, like, as this game goes on, who is going to address the TB unless your anti-mage gets a substantial lead in terms of net worth.
They're going to get a kill
and
here.
TB, yep, nice Sunder. Allows them to get a kill in Cheshire Cat pretty easily.
Yeah, both mids just rotating, and one team gets a kill on the core and one on the support, so favoring Cyber Legacy here a little bit.
Oh. That's going to be painful. That was AM's regen to come out. That was the Ring of Health. Just got sniped out by Doom.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, rough at this situation, right? Because once Slaughter has 6, when Wind Ranger comes back, you could see a world in which they can, like, just force him out of the lane based on attrition, now that he doesn't have that additional regen.
I think at this point, you kind of don't really want to sit in the lane as anti-mage. Like, you get amped up, and then, you get shackled once, you get a stun, you get bashed, like... It's gonna be, like, if you don't die, you're gonna lose, 60-70% of your HP, and it's just not worth it.
Speaking of dying, he's keeping consistent. I don't know about you, but, like, historically, I kind of feel like I hold a grudge against Lich because of the old Lich that just used to sacrifice creeps. Right. I always kind of feel good inside when a Lich dies.
Right. So kind of like me and the THD.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're just learning loads of things here, right? Like last game it was our disdain for Jakiro pickers. Now it's our secret kind of fetish about watching liches die.
Right. I mean, just honestly, like there are not many heroes in Dota that you don't really like enjoy watching them die, right? It's like you've had these games where this hero is just pissing you off and they die and you.
There's got to be one that like you're always happy to see succeed. Like one hero who almost always does so badly that you're kind of happy when it finally works.
Which hero would
on
that
average? Be? I don't know. I'm wondering if you got one. Like I'm trying to think, but there's got to be one. Because obviously you have heroes where they've been busted in the past so much. Like screw that hero. Like I don't think anyone enjoys watching an Arc Warden succeed. We might see a Doom succeed though. Cheshire Cat's going to be chased down. He should at least be able to pick up the bounty rune, but he should die from this. The Shackle Shot will ensure it, and we'll call that a kill secure from Bignum.
Easy. Money in the bank.
Cha-ching.
He did get the Doom, though, on the Rubik, so potential for some plays here. I see sending out a smoke, maybe. Yep. Sending out a smoke on the Rubik, and we're going to see some rotation, maybe towards the mid lane, maybe towards top. Let's see.
I think you're probably looking at Magical, right? Because TB, he's going to be embedded deep in that jungle. It's a bit hard to get to.
Yeah, he's definitely hard to catch.
Yeah. Whereas with the Doom, it's pretty valuable because otherwise he's got the drums, he's got the Scorched Earth, he'll just run it off.
Yeah, it looks like they kind of know. I think that ward that they have near the Ancients might have spotted it. And so, yeah, they're going to get a Lich kill.
Slayer is very upset right now. There were no creeps in the camp, otherwise that Chain Frost would have most likely got a kill.
Yeah, I mean, this is not what you want, right? You're smoking with 3 heroes and like a 4th hero is in there and you're getting a Lich kill.
It's not too bad when you convert it in this tower, though. Like, this is the highest priority tower to get.
If they get
now
the power,
you can access
then
the
it's...
jungle.
Yeah, it's definitely fine. And it's also, like, now the anti-mage he's just farming bottom. They might actually be able to hold this top tower. They're leaving this mid tower.
Yeah, they've gone top because they want to deal with Blizzy. And the boat coming in, it seems an inevitable death for the Slardar. Just how much time can you waste, though? He's going to cut tree and try and move away, but Pikachu, he went too late for the Tiebringer. Blizzy, nope, he's got no TP, but he can just sliver away.
Yeah, he probably regrets not doing it right now.
If they follow the tree line, they might see him when he tries to escape. If he tries to escape, he's got this ward covered, right? They have to know he's still here. Because I think they can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the torrent cancelled the TP, so they should know he's there, and they're going to walk away at the wrong moment. Looks like he'll escape. Calls a cucumber, does get away with it. Meanwhile, bot lane is just repelling the anti-mage.
But is he going to get out?
Push going.
Let's see.
I mean, technically he got out. Now he's just now Pikachu's just going in.
One more? Come on. Oh,
Pikachu
turned the wrong way.
He's just teasing him at this point. It's like that moment when Pikachu does the Tidebringer. He's like, well, I know he's there now, but I don't know how we catch him. An easy catch, however, would be Archangel, Witch Doctor. He tanks the gank, but his anti-mage probably wouldn't have needed to. And in the mid lane, they do find the big kill. They get on the Kuman. There it is.
Yep.
They throw out the Doom, they get the kill, and that is the most high valuable target they can find on the map right now.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of importance.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, getting the gold and getting the kill is not, it's just the Terrorblade won't be farming in this time, and the anti-mage can catch up a little bit.
Yeah, that's something like sometimes we kind of tunnel vision on, right? It's like, man, that kill was worth X gold. It's like, well, that's kind of the bonus. The fact is you just removed the primary carry from the farming sphere for X time. And now they might remove the other one. Magical gets caught out, and that's way too much damage. They should be able to bring him down. They'll pop him straight away, and with the split, they can just go under the tower. They'll pummel away a little bit. They know that Slayer is here.
Yeah, they should know.
Picking out the device.
They should just be going in there.
Slayer right now is like, oh no, no, no. Oh no, no. He doesn't even bother. He knows the Chain Frost won't achieve anything.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get it thrown back in his face with the counter spell. He just feels stupid.
Yeah.
This is pretty much going to be Battle Fury done after this wave.
Timing-wise, it's looking pretty decent. And the AM, he credit to him, he's kept up. Even the Kunkka as well. Like, this is the more surprising one, is the fact that Pikachu's kept up with Magical, which is a hero that, you know, remember, he does essentially have a built-in Midas.
Yeah, no, Pikachu's doing really well for himself, both him and Naive.
So the question is, do you feel like Cyber Legacy maybe need to ramp it up a bit? Do you think AM's getting a bit too much space here so far?
I think he's getting more space than they kind of anticipated or than they were hoping for, but I still think that Cyber Legacy they have so many tools.
And they're using them.
Killing.
Big kill on a Pikachu should open up a push to this tier 1 tower as well, because Kuman did use the Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
And that's key to them having success in this game, because just like they had done to them when their Terrorblade died in the tier 2, it opens up that jungle. That means that Naive can't really farm as freely as he previously was. Question is whether they want to fight this on the side of Calm, because they do have the split available. They got a DD on the Brewmaster. There you go. Straight away, Blizzy jumps in, the stun's going to come out. They do get the split off, and Kuman looks to retreat. Does the stun to work with, doesn't want to throw it out, and the ward is not actually interrupted. Black Star Angel was able to get the kill on the Blizzy. They chase him forward. They are stunning up Kuman. I think they're just trying to keep him away from the engagement, but it looks like Magical's able to retreat. Maybe now they can reconverge and look for a kill on to the Terrorblade. They need to be quick. Sunder's going to come out, just cat down to half HP. Shackle Shot on the mark. The bounce around the Chain Frost, the boat coming through as well. Terrorblade brought low, will be able to be brought down here. Black's Archangel does die. It's a double kill for Slayer with that Chain Frost bouncing around. And in the end, it's a free exchange. The difference being that the anti-mage is still alive, but the TB is in the grave.
Yeah, I think you're pretty happy about this if you're Khan. You saved your mid tower, the Terrorblade dies again, the anti-mage just gotta keep farming. Definitely not a bad trade.
Nice. You know, it's that case once again. You know, they're farming. Sure, you had the lead, but now you can see that Naive's going to move forward. And let's be honest here, you know, between these two heroes, like inherently anti-mage is always going to have a bit of an edge in terms of farm rate.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has an edge in mobility, and at this point, he can farm faster for sure. But at the same time, they do have this Terrorblade damage with the Slardar, so it's gonna be very easy for Cyber Legacy to take Roche. And it's also, like, unless the anti-mage gets way out of control, it's always gonna be relatively easy to kill him.
Yeah, I guess the other thing to highlight is between, you know, these two offlaners, which one is more cooldown reliant is very obvious. It's going to be the Brewmaster. But let's like say, you know, if you switched it up and said the POS 2 compared to the POS 3, like Doom is a big cooldown spell, sure. But how pivotal is it to success in a fight compared to the Brewmaster split at this point in the game? Like, it's definitely more painful when you don't have that ability available in these mid-game skirmishes.
Yeah, they're way more reliant on the Brew split than I would say that they are on a Doom. The Doom is just like, you know, it's a nice tool. If you see the anti-mage alone, like, I'm guessing maybe he gets eventually like a Blink or a Shadow Blade or something. He can just kind of find the anti-mage if he gets the Centaur creep. Makes it really easy to to kill the anti-mage. He's alone.
For now, they're looking to kill Pikachu. They smoked up and they'll move straight in. He gets caught out. They don't even care about the courier. I'll let that go by, and Kunkka, he's definitely dead as he has been doomed up. They'll hunt for more, though, because that courier does reveal that there's more people in the neighborhood. They ping out, they find Gilga. Gilga may just go smash.
Yeah, I mean, the anti-mage it looks like he's queuing up SMY, which is kind of odd to me. But, you know, he's playing, and I'm just sitting here talking, so what do I know?
It's okay. You go back and play, Pycat. You show him why Manta's still better. I think it's... I've seen this a few times in the high-level pubs from the anti-mages. I'm going to assume, it's because in this game, especially like Doom, right? Like if you get Satanic eventually, stats resistance build, maybe you find Titan Sliver, suddenly like being doomed isn't painful.
Yeah, I still feel like you don't really want to get doomed, though. That's the thing. But maybe there's...
That is usually the optimal way to play the game.
Maybe there's something to it. We'll just have to wait and see.
I feel like we're going to be back here 15 minutes later, just watching him die to doom, shrugging our shoulders.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's see if it pays off, though. In the meantime, there's going to be a smoke coming out. 3 members of Khan rotating towards the top. Makes sense to try and just remove Blizzy from the map whenever you can, because he really is the divine initiation for Cyber Legacy.
Yeah, I'm kind of uncertain as to what his plan up here is. Like, he's all alone. They're kind of just lingering in their own jungle.
Yeah. I'm guessing he saw the Rubik. He's like, oh man, if Rubik shows on the wave, I can just kill him, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. I mean, maybe.
It's about to be a good idea because Kunkka's not there. But yeah, you can see it's actually, like, he's just reluctant because there's nobody showing on the map at all. Ooh. Okay. I don't know. I feel like he should be hunting, not just sitting top waiting for something, maybe. But maybe the idea is, okay, TB's chill farming, Doom's farming. There's nothing to do right now. Let's just wait for them to get a new item.
Yeah, I mean, they just got the blink now into Doom. I'm guessing he's going to get the sensor creep. And he can kind of solo kill the anti-mage. Maybe, I mean, that could be an idea that you can outrun the Doom potentially with the SNY. And just, you know, the duration and whatnot.
I mean, maybe. I'm curious to see if there's going to be... What's going to be next? Okay, so he's getting the talisman. Is he about to make a... Is he going to make a Heaven's Halberd?
I don't know, man. But I'm intrigued, you know? You have my attention.
I'm working my chin and curiosity of this. Like, I did mention it at the start, right? I was like, the other guys get Heaven's Halberd because there's a TB. I wasn't expecting the anti-mage to queue up the Heaven's Halberd, though.
All right.
Brewmaster does get caught out.
Yeah, this should be pretty easy Roche, unless the Brew has buyback, which he does not. They could try to delay it maybe with some Kunkka torrents and whatnot, but I feel like this should be a fairly straightforward Roche.
Yeah, I mean, they have vision because the Witch Doctor is Courier, but there's not really anything they can do here.
Right.
Or is there? Just run Archangel and see if you can click the ground quick enough. So there you go. Roche in the hands of Cyber Legacy. Don't worry, Anti-Mage completed his Heaven's Halberd.
Okay, now, yeah, he's going for the Halberd Immensa combo. Okay, yeah, I feel like I've seen a few times, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's better than just going for the Manta. If you don't want to farm, right, like get the Heaven's Halberd first, back to the Manta afterwards.
Yeah, no, this seems reasonable. Like, I feel like people have kind of just figured out that Heaven's Halberd is just such a good item.
Yes, it's pretty much.
It's very cost efficient, and what it does is just it's a very useful item. Pretty much throughout all stages of the game.
Especially at this kind of stage in the meta, you know, when you think about like what have been the primary carries recently, things like Luna, the Terrorblade as well. These heroes get hit harder by a Heaven's Halberd than, you know, previous patches.
Yeah.
Primary carries.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice against the Terrorblade. Since he has to. I mean, usually he's fighting in range form, so.
And when you couple with the fact they've already got one on Kunkka, I wouldn't be surprised if after the Vlads we see the Brewmaster potentially pick up one as well. At that point, you know, yeah, you've got all this physical damage being amplified by Blizzy, but then you just have your primary right clicker disabled for the entire fight. between disables. They try to move in on the Gilga. 2 heroes blinking so far, and they decide that Gilga is not worth saving.
Peace. Gilga. See ya.
Like, you can see the moment they're like, oh, well, maybe we can turn this. And then you see another blink in, then another blink in. You're like, I'm just going to go heat creeps, guys. Good luck with that, Gilga.
Yeah, they're just going to give up this tier 2. They're going to see if they're actually going to... They should be threatening high ground here so that they can't have to go back. They're going to have meta soon.
Optimally, like, Cyber Legacy want to open up a second wave lane, right? So, like, you go take the tier 2 mid, and then that kind of meta high ground threat is significant for Khan.
Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't mind of seeing them, like, you know, like they just need to go to this high ground and start hitting it, you know, like now they didn't actually force any ports up there. The Rubik TB back eventually, but they could have dealt some damage and then kind of just shifted towards mid and start pushing there because they're going to have meta now. And they still have the Aegis.
I guess that's something we sometimes see with those type of things, you know, Dragon Eye with Terrorblade. Like, if there's not... Usually most people try and kill then objective, right? Whereas if you try and go in for the objective first, it just feels like you're vulnerable. And if you don't find an immediate kill, all of a sudden you've just tipped your hand.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you don't necessarily have to, like, go for the full push, right? All you really want to do is just force a few heroes back there so that you know that they ported, so you can kind of play the map in an easier way.
If this works, this would be cheeky. Kuman is alone on the bot lane. There is a lot of Khan heroes in the neighborhood. And yeah, they're just going to force it out willy-nilly. And therefore doing a lot of work. The BKB from Kuman. And he's moving forward, looking for a fight opportunity. Goes on a Black Archangel, but nope. Sunder gets wasted, and there's a TP out successfully by the Witch Doctor. They know Pikachu's around here. He's going to go for the TP away, and Blizzy, he's not going to try for the blind blink stun. I mean, you're happy if you can't with that. You have to be.
To some extent, I feel. I think they might be losing 2 towers here, though. They're gonna lose the 1, that's for sure. I don't really see any reason for them to not keep going. Is there a smoke for Cyber Legacy here?
No, but they're not gonna double back in.
They're gonna contain, like, you know, they're gonna keep these 2 lanes pushed. You see, they're cutting the mid wave, and then they're gonna push bottom. The TB can do it alone, and he's just gonna keep going, and they can potentially set up top, take the fight there. Have Terrorblade keep. He's kind of reluctant to hitting this bottom because he doesn't have BKB, and so he doesn't want to, like, his teammates ditched him, so he doesn't want to die there twice.
That's what I was wondering, is like, if their mindset from Khan is like, okay, like, Kuman will not push at all because now he has no BKB, he has no Sunder, and then he's reluctant to Metamorphosis on the first life. But it looks like Kuman, he's pretty confident. BKB's ready again, and you can already see there's 2 heroes from Radiant on the high ground, so they just control this area completely.
Yeah, and this is nice. Now, like, they got Khan to leave the top lane, so they're not taking this tier 1 tower, and they shifted back towards bottom, getting the tier 2, and they have kind of a decent position. They're gonna lose the mid wave right now, but with the next wave, they could potentially swing in towards the tier 2 mid.
Is this one of those games where if you're in it right now and you're not the anti-mage, use his teammate going, when is my AM going to be online exactly? And is the game going to already be over by then?
Yeah, and that's kind of the... I feel like that's like the spooky thing. Like, you know, like this anti-mage, yeah, he's really high level and all, but it feels like almost no matter when it is in this game, like the anti-mage is always going to be kind of vulnerable because of this amp and because of Doom and just the raw damage from Terrorblade.
Yeah, it feels like unless you just activate anime mode and go Super Saiyan with counterspell timing, they don't care. And they have so many AoE stuns that you can't go, well, I have counterspell against their target. A spooky situation nonetheless. You already see that this group cut into the maximum to just try and like stem any sort of tower hemorrhaging, considering they don't really have anything left but their base now inside of Khan. There's going to be a catch here. Black Archangel has been spotted out. They will hunt him down. The cask will bounce around a little bit, but there's not going to be any sort of initiation coming out from Khan. I'll let that one go.
So Terrorblade, the Aegis did expire. So I'm thinking most likely Khan are waiting for either the next Roche or Abyssal on Anti-Mage to try to find something. But the thing is, Cyber Legacy, they're kind of just, you know, they're sticking together. Like, it's really hard for this Anti-Mage to jump in and kill heroes. This Glimmer Cape on Lich is annoying. It's hard to kill the Windrunner. You can just press Windrun. And It's not that easy for them to find.
Double blink stun AoE, right? So like even if you initiate on a target, the counter initiation is so strong from Legacy. Speaking of that initiation, Blizzy goes in first straight away. Chain Frost's going to bounce out, so it's going to be used as well. Blizzy being protected by the Kuman Cape for the moment will be brought down though. Now TB has been disarmed, but Kuman will look to just melt through the Brute and his pieces, but it looks like he's able to get Storm out. So the problem is they didn't kill the Earth Panda. Yep. Which means you're in a bit of trouble, but they mistimed the power shot. So Cheshire Cat does get out in one piece. That is the Metamorphosis used. So if you're Cyber Legacy, you're looking for an objective right now. And they might find a big kill here. Kunkka gets hit by the Shackle Shot. They throw out the Doom as well. And that is going to be goodbye to the Admiral as he's going to be brought down. That should be high ground access for Cyber Legacy with 2 members of Khan being dead.
Yeah, they're going to have it's like 10-15 seconds on this TB meta. They're going to get the tower. Potentially, they might try to go for the Rex. Yeah.
I think they have just enough time. Yeah, the Kunkka is gone for so long. The Split's gone for 75 seconds. Like, in reality, even in melee form, what are you really scared of here?
Yeah, you have the BKB still, and it's just a free Rex.
And naive shenanigans are going to be interrupted as well, as Blizzy did go back early. Just good timing on that as well. Like, Cyber Legacy, they don't reveal that Blizzy is trying to deal with the AM too early. Obviously, that would just tip the hand of Khan to go at the base. The problem here is, like, now look at Kuman. He's almost got the butterfly complete. You got the MKB as well. It's weird when you look at AM and his net worth is more or less TBs. But when you look at their items and what they're doing in the game, you can't help but feel he's far, far behind, right?
Yeah, and it's not just about the anti-mage, right? Like, it's not the, I mean, the anti-mage TB matchup in a vacuum is, you know, like, okay, whatever. But it's kind of the fact that the anti-mage just, he can't go in, right? The way the fights have to work is that, like, the Brew has to jump in and get split off. The Kunkka has to be able to cast the spells, and like, so many things need to go right for Khan for these fights to actually work out. Not to say that they can't, because, I mean, the Brew, he can clear the TB illusions, but the TB with just the BKB and, you know, MKB Butterfly, S and Y, he's going to deal a lot of damage to any target that's amped. So it's like a very, very straightforward and easy way to fight.
Yeah, it's not just like the initiation, the fight. Like you mentioned, the survivability of multiple heroes they have. Like you compare that to Khan, their initiation, it's slower, I want to say, and like the impact is less instant, right? It's not like you've got this Slardar and this Doom jumping in. You've got like X, and that'll set up onto a kill, but if they have BKB, for example, it's not going to work that way. They're going to try right now on a magical. Go straight in. Doom brought down to half HP already. Not going to use the BKB. We'll throw it out now. Able to limp away. The split was thrown out. The Witch Doctor's already dead. Doom is going to live. In the meantime, Anti-Mage is going to be brought down. The big target found is Khan on full retreat. And Pikachu's BKB has ran out. Nice. Sinister Gaze coming out from Slayer. And the slow from the Chain Frost is enough to ensure that Pikachu will join his boss one in the grave. The 2 biggest targets found. And Khan running home with their tail between their legs with whatever's left of their army.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like the idea even from the get-go, right? Like this anti-mage, he's farmed, you know, like he farmed 20k gold, and it's one stun, right? It's one stun, and then it's, you know, it's so easy. There's one amp, there's some random shackle shot, doesn't even have to latch, just a random bash, some slaughter stun, and he's dead. You know, it takes like a second or two for him to die, and they didn't even have to use Doom, so.
Yeah, it really does come down to ease of execution and, like, you know, where's your saving grace in these fights? Like, where is your easy reset? I think that's like the biggest takeaway. Like we mentioned initiation just before that fight. Like they don't really have an insta reset. Like Bo is nice, but it has to get there in time. And as you said, it takes them like 2 to 3 seconds to kill AM.
Yeah, and I feel like the kind of like the difference in like I like this Lich hero in this game as opposed to the 2 supports of the Dire lineup. They have a Witch Doctor and a Rubik, and there's no real save or kind of any backup whatsoever. If we saw the Lich as a 5 on the Khan side and a Witch Doctor, like if you switch these 2 heroes, I feel like this game would be way closer, because then the Anti-Mage all of a sudden would be able to kind of blink in, or even just the Brew or the Kunkka just go into fights, get the Frost Armor and just fight. But the way it is now, that's, you know, it's not possible. Like the Rubik, yeah, he can steal this, but it's not very reliable.
Yeah, and it's not like instantly one spell being stolen by a Gilgar is going to change everything. It's not like you got your Black Hole or your Naga Siren Song. Something like just gives you that hard reset or the hard control in the fight.
Yeah, and Kuman, we see him here. He gets a bottle and he's just gonna bottle this double damage. He has Aegis. He's gonna meta in 15 seconds. They're just gonna go top and go for the final side. And I feel like there's very little Khan can do about this. They need to hope for like some crazy initiation where they manage to kill a bunch of heroes before they pop their BKBs.
All right, so either a miracle in-game or a miracle with DDoSing. These are the
you
two
never know,
options
right?
that line up for me.
Like a blackout or something.
Just Cyber Legacy all of a sudden, right?
Nice. 2 out of 10 on the last one, 3 out of 10 on this one.
I'm improving, coach.
Yep.
Oh, Kuman's damage has substantially improved. And they're split on the side. They're desperately trying to cut the back line. The problem is, like, TV, like, you don't care. If you're Cyber Legacy right now, it doesn't matter. You don't have to directly fight. Naive is trying to run for the high hills. Will be slowed down. Magical has got the blink. You could go in for the Doom if you want to. Instead, they just get rid of Kunkka, and they'll be able to close out the game.
Yikes.
GG, Cyber Legacy, game 1. TV unstoppable. And in this classic matchup, is Kuman coming out ahead.
It's the Kuman Terrorblade. You just...
Spooky Terrorblade.
Can't beat it.